is a big difference between abandoned and semi-abandoned. I just want to make that clear.
There's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
You have a project and you're really excited about it, and then at some point something else more exciting comes along. It's not like you're not going to finish it, and then months go by and you're like, I still plan on finishing it. It's not an abandoned WIP. I'm going to finish it. And then you just never do. Well, I'm going to finish them now. And that's the only thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to work on any other projects for the next week. It is day one. Today is day one. For 1 week, these will be the only projects I work on, and I'm hoping that I can either get them done or get very close to getting them done and build up the motivation to finish them. I am so over this project. It is time to get these projects out of the way so they can stop taking up space in my brain and in my project bags. Let's go. Girl, I'm going to need access to that sweater. You know what? I'll talk about the coasters first. Let's talk about that. It's kind of embarrassing. I almost don't want to show this one. I started on this project. Oh my gosh. WIP number 1. If you've worked on a granny square before, I give you full permission to judge me here. That's okay. I expect it. In fact, you should judge me for this. That's fine. I can take it. I deserve it. But in June, I made a granny square. This was my 3rd granny square. I had 2 other attempts because it was going to be my first one. So I tried making a granny square first in a solid color. Was like, great, I did that. Did a second one with 2 different colors to see if I could do that. It turned out fine. Nothing special to write home about. And then my 3rd one was this granny square. So this is the 3rd granny square I've ever made. I made them all on the same day. And it was June. And now it's not June. And it's time for me to finish this. Because this is a coaster, and I use this on a daily basis. I use this a lot. It's kind of getting dirty. I should probably wash this because I use it so much. And I transfer it from room to room in my apartment. So I'll work, if I'm working at my desk, I'll bring it there. Or if I'm in bed, I'll use it there. And sometimes I have multiple drinks, like I'll have a tea and then I'll have my water bottle, and I'll want 2 coasters at the same time, and I can't do that. So I need more coasters. Well, I want more coasters. I need oxygen. So we're just starting the embarrassing bit, because it's embarrassing that I started this in June and couldn't be bothered to make a single other granny square until now. It would have been so easy to knock these out. Although I'm pretty sure this took me like an hour. And so making 3 more would be a while. I'm sorry, I'm such a slow crocheter. I'm not fast at crochet. I'm pretty average speed at knitting though. I'm not a fast knitter, but I'm also not slow. And there's nothing wrong with being fast or slow. It's just the way we are. And I don't mind that I'm a slow crocheter. That's all right. I've definitely heard before that crochet is faster than knitting. Like if you were making a sweater and you were going to crochet a sweater versus knitting a sweater, using the same yarn, that the crochet would work up faster. I don't think that's true. I think it would take longer for me. The rest of the embarrassing bit is that today I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just crank 1 more of the coasters out, and then I'll just have 2 to do. I'm halfway done. That's really cool. And then I can like have something more to show for it when I start this video of like, look, I'm already starting stuff. I'm doing so good. It turned out so bad. If you've never made a granny square before, you'd be like, no, that's not bad. You're fine. And a lot of people would be like, you know what? That's really not that bad. But a lot of people are going to be like, wow, that is trash. Here we go. Take a look at this. I don't know how well you can see this, especially with me flopping it around like crazy. This is a monster. It's like Frankenstein's granny square. Not only did I not weave in the ends, because I started weaving them in as I go, and you could see them the whole time because there's freaking holes in a granny square. Where are you supposed to hide the extra yarn? And then there's this loop. Thank you. This is my therapy cat, Pippin. She's not registered or trained as a therapy cat. She just does it for fun. That's her hobby. I love you. And there's these loops in here. How did I get loops in here? How did I mess up? It's double crochets the whole time. How did I mess up? I don't understand. What did I do wrong? And it's huge. It's big. I know it's cotton and it's going to shrink, and fine. It's only like a centimeter larger in the length and width directions. That's not too bad. But it's not great. It looks super loose. I am going to block this. I don't want to use this because I have standards. That was so mean to myself. That was so mean. I will keep it as a swatch though, because I'm building a little collection of swatches and I'd like to add to my swatch collection. Swatch sized. What are you doing? I don't know if you can see Pippin right now. She's not laying down. She's pushing her butt upwards as if to like twerk in my direction. Are you like falling off? Is that the problem? Okay, I readjusted to make my cat a little more comfortable. So I am going to block this, wash it in hot water like I did with the other one, and like I'm going to do with the rest, just to see how much it shrinks so that I know what hook size to use. For this one, I used a 4mm hook, and because I made this in June, I do not remember what hook size I used for this, and I did not write it down. I even journaled about this project and did not write what hook size I used, so I'm a little embarrassed about that too. But once this is blocked, I will try to figure out what to do. For this, I would also like to change up how I did the colors because I want to make another coaster just like this one. And then for the other two, I want to reverse the colors. So instead of doing white on the inside and gray on the outside, I want to use gray on the inside and white on the outside. And I think that'll be fun because it'll just mix it up a little bit and make it more interesting for me. My poor posture is really making my back hurt right now. Oh gosh. It also takes me like an hour to make one granny square. It took me an hour to make this. That's an hour of my life. So it'll take me, I'm guessing, 3 hours to make the rest, plus an extra 30 minutes to weave in all the ends, and then 30 minutes to wash and block. So I have another like 4 hours left in this project. And that's assuming that my next granny square comes together well and that they all come together well, because I might mess them up and have to make more than just 3 more. Project number 2. My husband is very supportive of my knitting, if that makes sense. Like, why wouldn't he be? He's knit worthy. Anyways, I found a pattern that he really liked and I started on it and I've been slowly, painfully working my way through and I can see the finish line and I cannot motivate to get it done. Here's the sweater. This is the Halibut sweater by Caitlin Hunter. I am so in love with this pattern. My husband has never owned a knit sweater before, not even a machine knit sweater. And so we don't know if he's a sweater kind of guy. And so I wanted to be careful with the first pattern and make something that if he doesn't wear it, I will. So that I won't be devastated and it won't just be sitting in a closet somewhere. If he really doesn't like wearing sweaters, this is how we're going to find out. Regarding what I have left of this project, I just have to bind off the cuff of the sleeve and then I need to do the other sleeve. The first sleeve took a surprisingly long amount of time to do, and so I'm expecting the second one to be a couple days. It's not just something I can crank out in a night. And I think that's what's been holding me back is knowing I can't just finish this in one fell swoop. It's going to take some effort, and I never want to put in that effort, so I just keep delaying it. I gotta wrap this one up. The third and final project, I can't show you here, so I'll have to move you. It's on the floor. I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see or hear me while I work on this rug. I'm also going to be looking down the whole time, and that also works out because I'll need to talk directly into the mic, so I'll be looking in that direction anyways. I started working on this rug in spring because I really wanted to have a nice wool rug for my living room, and I could not find anything in my price point. Instead of spending $800 on a wool rug that I could get that fits the exact style, because that was the other issue. Not only were they ridiculously expensive, I couldn't find ones that I liked because they were all like solid white or bright white. And I wanted something with speckling in it because I have black cats and their fur gets places. And I want that to be hidden in the rug. And this is also the highest trafficked area in my apartment because my working desk is directly behind you and couches over there and TVs over there. It's just where we hang out the most because it's a small place. And I wanted a white appearing rug from afar, but not something that would show getting dirty very easily. And I'm glad I went with this. But I think it's funny that I was like, I don't want to spend $800 on a rug because I don't have that kind of money. And then proceeded to, over the next 7 months, spend $500 on yarn. Maybe less, maybe more. I don't want to think about it. This yarn was so expensive. If you're thinking about making a rug, just really think about it. And be honest with the amount of yarn you're going to need because it's going to be like a lot more than expected. Like a lot more than expected. The most difficult thing about working on this rug is it kind of has to be done on the floor. And I'm sure there are better ways for me to be sitting right now, but honestly, this is the most comfortable and it's not even that comfortable. I have to work on it on the floor though because it's kind of impossible to sit somewhere and try to maneuver this whole thing. Mary, don't scratch at those nice chairs that I upholstered. That's not the nice thing to do. I also did not properly estimate how long it takes to do a row for this thing. This thing's huge. I'm using a 11.5 millimeter crochet hook, and it's still taking forever because it's just so big. Something I should probably note is that because it's a rug and because it's crochet, it's done whenever I stop. Like that's when the rug is done. And how do I know when I'm going to stop? Because the yarn stays attached and the hook stays out here, and so this looks like it's a work in progress all the time. For 6 months, I've had giant balls of yarn just in the middle of my living room. I also want it to be square because right now it's slightly wider than it is long, and I want it to be as long as it is wide, make it a square. I'm thinking a couple more inches, but the true determining factor now that I'm getting close to the end, is going to be when I run out of yarn, which is difficult to say because I am using 3 different yarns and holding them together. They're all Lion Brand. Lion Brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick. This is the color Fossil. This is the color Oatmeal. This is also Wool Ease Lion Brand, and it is the color Linen. So I'm holding these 3 together, and they use up at very different rates. And so there's not an exact ratio, but I think it's like for every 2 of these, I use 4 of these and 1 of these. I have 3 more of these coming in the mail, and I have 4 of these left over that I have not started using yet. I'm hoping that will get me another 4 inches. Hopefully, as much length as it can give me, I want. I want it to be as long as possible. Since this rug has been mostly finished for several months now, we've gotten a lot of use out of it. I've vacuumed it many times because I vacuum like once a week at least. So it's been vacuumed like 15 times. And I really love this rug. I love that it's made of wool. It feels so good on your feet in the morning. And everyone that I invite over to our apartment just loves how this feels on your feet. You're not in the way at all. You just stay right there, stay cozy. I'm really enjoying having this as a rug. I think it's going to be a piece that I have in my life for a very long time, or at least that's what I'm hoping. I know it'll get worn and we'll have fluffy bits and it might start to look like it's felting, and I'm totally okay with that. I would love to see how this ages, even if it ages quote unquote poorly. It's going to be a beautiful, warm piece that makes me feel like this is home. I look forward to maybe moving into a proper house someday. I'm Gen Z, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford one, but I dream of it. Oh, I'm out of yarn. Now I've got 3 more of my Fossil left. Yeah, working on a crochet rug is definitely a big project. I'm just doing single crochet. I didn't follow a pattern. I'm not doing anything fancy. It's just a rectangle, soon to be a square. Well, this rug was a lot of money and a lot of work. I do love it. Forgot how hard it is on your back. Getting tangled. She's getting tangled. All right, it's Granny Square time. It's Granny Square time. All right, I have Tony from TL Yarn Crafts. I have her Granny Square tutorial video, which is where I first learned how to do granny squares, and the only place I've learned how to do granny squares. I have her tutorial on silent, and I'm just going to watch what she does and try to do the same because I still don't have starting granny squares down. I can continue them, but the first round I struggle with. I'll link to it below, but I love Teal Yarn Crafts in general. Um, Tony Lipsy from Teal Yarn Crafts, but I love her video tutorials. She does excellent video tutorials. I feel like everyone I follow on YouTube does really good video tutorials. I really like Well Loved Knits, did a good one for balaclavas. There's also Veronica Lindberg, aka Kudava Kika, on YouTube and Instagram. She does really good tutorials for a lot of her patterns. It's really hard to grab a chain stitch that's like not in anything like a floating chain stitch. First round done, and you know what? It's better than good. It's good enough. So far, off to a much better start than the first attempt. The first attempt, I could tell like something was wrong immediately. Whoa, Tony girl, you fast. I'm working slow. That's all right. That's why they have playback speed options. I feel like I'm talking very monotone this morning. Should I mix it up with my inflection? No, because that would be super annoying. So I'm just going to talk how I feel like talking. This is already coming together so much better than the previous attempt. You know how yesterday I said I was going to block it? I was going to block this to see how small it would shrink. Yeah, I got way too lazy yesterday and did not feel like blocking. You know what? It's not lazy. I just didn't feel like blocking it. I don't know why I said that as if I would take the time to block it, although maybe there's a reality where I get bored at night and just decide to throw it in a bath of hot water. So I just guessed what hook size to go down to. I think I started yesterday with a 4mm hook, and today I'm using a 3.5, and this is looking much better. I have not been watching the video for the past like 5 minutes, and I'm just now noticing that she's like done with hers, and I'm on round 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, now Tony's done 5 rows. Can't keep up with you, girl. Do you know how insecure I can be? I didn't want to film at all this week because I have a pimple right here, and I have another one on my cheek that's starting to go away. But it was really painful, and it's the kind of like radiating pain ones that you can feel deep down, and it hurts when you like move your face or talk or something. So I couldn't stop thinking about it, but I am filming anyways because why would I put myself out of commission? I don't make commission. Gotta free up an arm. Need that range of motion. It's slip stitch time. It's slip stitch time. So last night I was working on the rug and I finished up, or like had to stop because I ran out of the oatmeal color of yarn, and I have 2 more balls of it arriving tomorrow, so I'll pick that up maybe tomorrow. Can you tell yet which project I'm completely procrastinating on? Is it the sweater sleeve? I don't know. Did I mess it all up at the end there with that border, or does it look fine? I don't know. Blocking will save some things on this. All right, here's my granny square. I know you can't tell from way over there if it's good or not, so you'll just have to take my word for it. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm going to weave in the ends and block it, but I think I'm going to hold off on weaving the ends and just do them all at once. I swear, I had every intention of starting on the second sleeve for this sweater today. I was gonna stop procrastinating and I was finally gonna start on it, and I can't find my interchangeable knitting needles. I don't know where the case went. I use them constantly, and so they move from room to room, and so it's not uncommon for me to lose them or not know where they are, and usually I can find it pretty quickly, but I could not find it today. I haven't taken them out of the apartment, and so I don't know where they would have gone. There's only 800 square feet where it could possibly be, and so it's kind of sad that I've lost something in this small of a space. That's what I think every time I lose something in my apartment. But I haven't done nothing. This morning I took 20 minutes and did a bind off. And I want to start on the second sleeve. I want to get this done. I can't find those interchangeable knitting needles, so I'll need to keep looking. In the meantime, today, if I can't find them, then I'll just work on the rug a little bit more because my yarn for that should be arriving in a little bit. I just got out of the shower and I'm just realizing how wet my hair is. I do hope my husband likes this sweater. He's tried it on and he says he likes it. He doesn't lie about stuff like that. Like, if he really didn't like the sweater, he'd be like, this is a terrible sweater. I hate this. Or, I'm not a fan of sweaters. He's very upfront and honest. And the good thing about that is when he does like something, you know he's telling the truth and he's not just being polite. On the bright side, if he doesn't end up really liking wearing this, then I get to keep it and wear it instead. And I don't have any like really big oversized sweaters. This is like the only oversized sweater I think I've made. Everything else is a little bit more fitted, and it would be nice to just have another oversized sweater in my collection. But if he likes it too, then it's his and it's fine. Let's catch up. What have I done since yesterday? I finished the rug in my living room. You can't see it. I don't know why I'm gesturing, but I finished the rug in my living room and I am so happy that it's finally done. My husband walked in and he saw me weaving in the last ends and he was like, wait a second, are you done with the rug? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, he was so excited. His enthusiasm just made me so happy because I was like, wait, is that for me? He was just so excited. And I was like, is that for me? Uh, so yeah, that's fun. I don't know if you can see her. Not everyone wants to see your booty hole, girl. Also, you know how I said I lost my interchangeable knitting needle set and I could not find it? Well, I finished the rug, I finished the coasters, and I was like, all that's left to do is the sweater sleeve that I have to knit. And I still could not find the interchangeable knitting needle set. I looked for a day and a half, couldn't find it anywhere. And I decided, even though I had no business doing it, to cast on a new project. This is the Smart Heart Sock by Veronica Lindbergh in her book Knit This. You might also know her as Kudavakika on Instagram and YouTube. She's amazing. I love the Smart Heart Sock pattern. It's a 2x2 rib sock, and I'm making one for my husband. He had picked out this yarn because he said it reminded him of the Northern Lights, and I love it. And to kind of tone it down a little bit, I paired it with this yarn. Why am I talking about this project? This is not part of the video. Anyways, I had no business casting on this project and I did it anyways. But I'm going to set it aside because I found my interchangeable knitting needles. It's really embarrassing. I tore apart my apartment trying to find these interchangeable knitting needles. And this morning, what do I find? Stuffed right here. I found this right here. It had fallen in between the couch and the ottoman. And I haven't done much today, but I did at least start because that's the hard part for me. So I've worked about an inch of sleeve today, so not exactly spectacular progress. I think I'll get more done tonight, and I have the rest of the week to finish this up. I don't know when I started this. I can't remember what day I'm on. Am I on day 4? So I have like 2, 3, or 4 days, depending on what day I'm on, to finish this. I literally cannot remember what day I'm on. This has got to be day 4. I am so over this project. I'm so over this sleeve. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm not having fun. I'm being dramatic. It's fine. It's just a sleeve and it's taking forever. And I feel like I've been working on this sweater for so long. I want it done. And I think today I'll just sit down for like 3 hours and marathon it out. I just need to finish up the rest of the sleeve and then do the cuff. It might not even take 3 hours. It might just be like an hour and a half or something because I only have, I think, 5 more rows to do in the sleeve and then like 15 rows for the cuff. That's 20 rows. 20 rows, it takes me 3 minutes a row. 20 times 3, that's an hour. Plus the Italian bind off. So blocking and weaving ends. Let's call it an even hour and a half. It's an hour and a half to crank this out. I can get this done today. I should get this done today. I'm going to take 15 minutes and finish the sleeve portion so that I can do the cuff. So I don't know if you can tell or if you've noticed, but I don't love making things for other people as far as knitting goes. I'll do it, but I get so stressed out about it because I want it to be perfect. And then I just lose steam on it so quickly. For projects for myself, I get excited because then I get to wear it. And maybe that makes me a selfish knitter. Am I a selfish knitter? That's okay. I like working on stuff for myself because I find it to be much lower stress. There's less pressure. I don't know if Pippin thinks she's being helpful, but she's not. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. This needle cord is way too big for the dimension of sweater sleeve that I'm working on right now, but I don't have a smaller cord and I don't want to switch to DPNs just to do 4 rows. 1 row down, 4 to go. Let's do this. You know what's an important step in sweater making that often gets missed? The cat massage. Every sweater needs to be massaged by a cat before blocking. It helps relax the fibers. For those of you that have pets, have you ever been knitting and then all of a sudden feel a wet spot come across your fingers on your working yarn as you're going? And then you realize, gross, that's my cat's drool. Nasty. Freaking nasty. And my cat jumped up on the camera. I'm almost done. Done. Now I gotta do the twisted rib cuff. That's the word. I actually don't mind doing twisted rib stitch. I'm just realizing I may have messed up. Dang it. I forgot. When I did this sleeve, I stopped doing decreases for the last 3 inches. I did not stop doing decreases on this sleeve. So now I have to go back. I have to rip up 3 inches and then redo it. I don't want to do that. Don't make me do that.